Alright, what's up y'all? Wooly here. It's been a while since we've done a loadout video, um, but I have been playing Hardlight and it's been pretty fun. So I want to show you guys what I'm using. This is a competitive loadout. Um, I'll go ahead and put the rotation and parsers at the beginning. It'll be a couple of minutes of just straight rotation so you can kind of see what it's like. Which by the time you're hearing this, you've already seen what it's like. So this is actually just going to be focused on how to perform the rotation. Now, I will tell you the parsers can vary. Don't get too caught up on parsers because when you actually take it into an elite raid, it does perform very, very well. Especially if you do any kind of ARD swapping at all. You know what I mean? But it's a very simple rotation. Now, how I kind of got this rotation really quickly, and let me just pull up the loadout while I discuss it. Um, I was actually experimenting with pet DPS for Hardlight on a different character, and I needed something simple. And then from there, it just kind of evolved a little bit, right? So I went ahead and changed over from munitions, which I've been on Wooly for a while, and went over to Hardlight because it's just, for me, it's far more fun. Um, but either way, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So lightweight strike, this is also your supercharged generator. We're going to be using RAM. We're going to be using grasping hand, and then we're going to be using light blast. Now, the reason I stick with grasping hand here is for that extra dot that it puts on, and then depending on the amount of ads that are in the way, we're either going to go ahead and clip it into RAM, clip it back into RAM, or we're going to go ahead and clip it into Snaptrap and then clip it into RAM because we want to weigh down a couple of dots, right? So the actual rotation is fairly simple. What you're going to do is you're going to hit lightweight strike to start out. You're going to hit light blast to start out. And then you're going to weapon tap, and then you're going to go into grasping hand. Now from here, you're going to hold range and go back into light blast. When you're back into light blast, you're going to hold that for about 3 seconds. And then you're going to go into your gun, like so. And so you're going to hold range one more time. So to reiterate, we're going to hit lightweight, we're going to hit light blast, we're going to hit grasping hand. You only hold that for about a second because it's very quick. So lightweight, light blast, grasping hand, hold it for a second, then hold range and go back into light blast, hold that for 3 seconds, then hold range again, and that goes into the machine gun. Right here, or the minigun, sorry. And you're going to hold that for about 3 seconds. Now, you don't really have to clip here. You can just let it ride all the way out, which is what I do sometimes, right? So I'll come over here and I'll go. Because this minigun hits very, very hard, and we'll just let it ride all the way out. After that, you would do, if you do any clipping, you would do whatever clip that you do, and then you would go into RAM. So you obviously seen the rotation running when I was doing it. Decent parsers, right? We can get them a little bit higher, but it just takes a little bit of practice. Right now, I just want to show you guys what I am doing. So again, how it's going to run is lightweight strike, light blast, grasping hand, hold it for 1 second, hold range, let that run for 3 seconds, hold range again, and you go into minigun. And then, depending on the group of ads, if they're big, if you're in a hallway, you can either not do that. So you can either do RAM, clip it back into RAM, or you can hold melee and go into Snaptrap and then clip into RAM, right? It's a very simple rotation. Now, this is the AoE build, and like I said, I know grasping hand is technically single target, but we're not doing it For the single target here, we're just doing it to lay down a quick dot and then go right back into AoE. Okay. I wouldn't put anything else there personally, but this is just my build and my version of it. So, do what you do. But if you're wanting to use what I'm using and just test it out for yourself, that's how I'm running it. So how it looks, and of course we got Robot Sidekick, I forgot to mention that. But how it looks here is Lightweight Strike, Light Blast, Grasping Hand, Light Blast, Minigun, and that's it. It's just rinse and repeat. And like I said, you can do the Snap Trap as well. Which is how I do it on single target. And that's pretty quick to clip, right? So and there you go. And that's it, guys. It's very straightforward. As for the artifacts I'm using, of course, Transformation card, Quizlet, Strategist card. And it's going to be the same for single target. And then I just haven't changed this, so put whatever you want in the legs. Escalating Might in the neck. I'm using Extended Supercharge. You can use Penetrating Strikes. The reason I'm using Extended Supercharge is because I am using the Supercharge Generator, the Lightweight Strike, and I am pairing that with Black Adam for the Supercharge Generator ability, right? And then, of course, I use Shazam for when I activate a combat ally and I get the 30-second buff to my Might. And then for AoE, I'm just using Cyborg as my AoE combat ally. Okay, so these are my specific allies. You don't have to use these. I do recommend Shazam, though. It's one of the best allies in the game for DPS, regardless of Might and Precision. The only reason I would change that is if you have a very specific build or you're doing something like a pet DPS build where you really just want to focus on buffing up your pets, with Aquaman and potentially Zatanna is what it looks like are going to be a good pairing. But for now, this is what I'm using, right? And then, of course, we are going to be running Neo Venom in the head here, and then Brawling. How we fill it out, of course, super powered, critical attack chance, critical attack damage, might and power. I just haven't respec'd out of the precision here because, from time to time I still do brawling, and then I put a little bit into health. So you can also just put your overflow into health, and if you don't have enough for it, not a big deal. So overall, this is not very power costly. It can be when you start doing all that clipping, but if you don't want to do all the clipping and you don't want to, drain your power bar, all you've got to do is just hit Lightweight Strike, Light Blast, and you don't have to clip at all, and you can just run through your combo. So if you're not going to do the clipping and you want to maintain your power bar a little bit better, I would go ahead and get rid of RAM, and then you can put in chompers, and you would rotate like so. You would Lightweight Strike, Light Blast, chompers, Grasping Hand, Light Blast, Minigun, and just let it run all the way through. And that's absolutely fine. That's going to perform pretty well. The numbers won't be exactly as high, but they won't be that low either. You're still going to be hitting pretty good. Obviously, the benefit of clipping is just getting a little bit of extra damage in there, but if you struggle with power, this would be the loadout I suggest. Just rotate between, do Lightweight Strike, Light Blast, chompers, and then you just do your one combo right here. As you can see, it hardly uses any power. But even if you are doing the clipping, it does kind of take a while to get through your power bar. It can happen. It's just not going to be nearly as tough as some of the other powers. But that's the AoE rotation. Okay. Let me show you the single target here. So we are going to be running heat vision on this build. Let me pop up my robot sidekick. So we're going to be using lightweight strike, heat vision, grasping hand, light blast, and then robot sidekick, and of course neo venom, right? So how this one is going to run is we are going to weapon tap, go into lightweight strike. We're going to use our heat vision, grasping hand. The minigun is superb for single target damage. It does a lot. But we're actually going to combo this into snap trap, and we get that extra dot. You see what I mean? So how it looks. So it's kind of the same deal, right? It performs pretty much the same way as the AoE. The only difference is that you're using heat vision in here for just that little bit of extra, because it does tend to help better on boss damage. You can do the hand clap if you want. I choose not to. Now, if I ever adjust that to where I do start using it, then I'll update the guide. But for now, we want to keep things simple. And this is what I've been running. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. Very straightforward. Hardlight's pretty fun. Not enough people are playing it. Everybody's under the impression that Hardlight is bad, but let me tell you, if you've got good artifacts, it doesn't matter what power you are, you're going to be hitting pretty hard regardless. And if you're getting washed out on the boards, it's usually because somebody is just doing a lot of art swapping, with like Mercy, Philosopher's Stone, Dead King Scepter. So don't be discouraged, because if you do art swapping, it really doesn't matter what power you are. You're going to be miles ahead of everybody else who isn't art swapping. Doesn't matter what power you are. Doesn't matter if you're Mitre Precision. It doesn't matter how good your rotation is. Even if you were gadgets and you're just on point and never miss. Somebody's art swapping, they're going to wash you out every single time, right? So have fun and enjoy the power that you play, and just try to maximize the most. Now, that said, I will tell you that pet DPS on Hardlight goes crazy, and by that I mean Source Shard, Grim, and Quiz, and then you would only use Mercy to swap in. I would not main Mercy. We want to get all that damage from Grim and Quiz. So if you wanted to do pet DPS, Hardlight is a really good option for it, because you have the ability to do more than just 2 moves, which, 2 or 3 moves is really all pet DPS can do. Otherwise, this is the build regardless of what you run, regardless of what artifacts you use. This is the build. It's tried and true for me. It's been proven. I've taken it in to just about everything. Yeah. So I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm running before the next episode comes out. This is what I'm going to be running. I don't plan on changing from Hardlight anytime soon. So we will be uploading some elite raids, the new alert, all that stuff running as a Hardlight DPS. I'll try to put some of those videos out. In the meantime, there is a MTCE DPS video I'll put out as Hardlight, so you can kind of see it in action as well. So I'll try to get that out at the same time as I get this video out. I don't want to combine them into one video because that would just take too long. But yeah, so this is pretty much what I got for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And like I said, this is just my version of a Hardlight build. I'm not going to tell you by any means it's the specific one that you should use or it's the best. because there are other things I do to it. This is just the main thing that I do. Like for example, if I'm in a duo or something, I may replace RAM. You know, if I go into a like an elite duo, I may replace RAM with light barrier, and I may opt to do whip thrash in there. So if I'm going, and then I would just tap melee, and then combo into light blast. So the more you play it, the more you're going to experiment. You're not going to just stick to specifically what I say. You'll start to accidentally do things or say, I want to try this and I want to try that. And you'll figure out your own thing. I can't tell you, like I said, this loadout is proven to me to work. But I don't necessarily do this all the time. It depends on the situation. Like there are times I'm going to use whip thrash or I'm going to try to clip into other things that may be quicker, because regardless of how hard you hit at the targets, doesn't really matter when you're in live content. It's how quickly you can hit things hard. You know what I mean? Light Blast is just phenomenal for that, which is why I start out with it over everything else, because it just tears into stuff and it really primes your targets, right? So anyways, that's what I got for you today, guys. If anything changes, like I said, I'll post it. Otherwise, be on the lookout for new content for the new episode coming out. And then I do have a long form video planned in the future that is not going to be focused on loadouts, and it's not going to be focused on just gameplay. I'll keep that to myself until it drops. When it drops, you'll know what it is. Other than that, thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for always saying what's up when you see me in the game. Really appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, hey, consider sticking around. If not, it's cool. I get it. And if you've been with me since the beginning, as always, I appreciate it. So I'll catch you next time. Wooly out. Stay frosty. Don't forget to drink water.